All right, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders, bishops, and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. And I would like to say peace, safety, and salutations to the Lord's beloved elect, to the hopeful elect in 1/3. And Adawan Ratazah, this lesson will be edifying as well as exhorting to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. And the Wadi Bahashem Al Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, for giving me the inspiration to do this lesson. And I titled it right now. I might keep it, but what I titled it was No Food, No Electricity, No Good. And, I seen this video the other day of a prepper or, just like a truther, like Gabu7. And he was doing a breaking news video about how 11 or 21, I think it was 11, states were issuing a power outage warning. So it just got me thinking, look how easy, in Babylon, food can, be put in jeopardy. So something as simple as food, can be stripped from you, is something as simple as electricity can be stripped for you. And when that takes place, that's going to be a bad situation for Jake, but it's also a realistic scenario pertaining to the trouble that's getting ready to befall Jake and Babylon, because, having control over water and electricity, that funnels people, to wherever you want them to go, wherever you want to migrate them, which real quick, I believe Zechariah 11:5. Well, the scripture, my people are led as a flock to the slaughter, just a flash before my eyes. So let me see this real quick. Yeah, right here. Okay. See? All right. This is Zechariah 11:4. Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and that they sell them. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So when you look at Jake, one of the biggest situations that they always go through is being slaughtered. And we know this time, it's going to be through prophecy. All right, 2/3, but you always have Jake being led down a path that ultimately is going to lead to their destruction. And Jake is very sheeple. They're sheeple people, so they're gonna go wherever there's fire. They're gonna go wherever there's food. They're gonna go wherever there's light. They're gonna go wherever there's some form of establishment of a society. And if this place suffers a power outage, a cyber attack, EMP, even I think they call it a geometric. Let me see right here. Geomagnetic storm. Oh, this place is done. For however long, that happens, this place is done. All right. Now I was gonna grab something, but let me grab this real quick. Let's read this, and then I want to show you something in the chat GPT. All right. This is Isaiah 29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. So, even a storm, all right, could crumble, this society to a certain level. There it is. The Wadiyah Bashim Al Shai Bashim Kakwadash. Now let's go to Isaiah real quick, because I'm just getting some precepts for you before I go into this Babel GPT. And I always like to call it that because we recently found out that chat in the online etymology actually goes back to the word Babel. So I want to share that with you. But before I do, I just want to build up, all right, because the times that we're coming into, the lack of bread, the lack of resources, the lack of electricity, and there's scarcity, we're going to be praying. We're going to be staying. We're going to be praying. We're going to have faith, okay? So we're not worried about no food, no water, no electricity, because we know we're going to eat. I was actually just, in thought earlier today. I'm just going to speak on this real quick because I got my precept. I was just in thought today and just thinking about the mortal experience that we are partaking in right now, and how, it means nothing in comparison, because I was reading Revelations 5 about Yahweh Shai loosing the seals. It's like we are enduring a annoying carnal temporal world right now, while being surrounded by a real world that's about to take over in the near future. I mean, to me, that's just so high level, because right now you could get caught up in, the family life, the woman, love, vain emotions. And it's like, when you sit back, which those are beautiful things to have. But when you sit back and look at the reality of where we're at right now, okay, it's like that doesn't compare to the kingdom coming, so you got to be mindful of that moving forward, especially now with the times that we are in. This is Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Now, what would cause Jake going back to being led as a flock to the slaughter? No food would cause Jake to go to Egypt. No shelter will cause Jake to go to Egypt for help. And what I mean by Egypt, I mean by like governmental assistance, federal governmental assistance, no electricity, things of those nature is going to cause Jake to go to Esau. But that is where the slaughter will take place. Now, what I did was, actually, let's just walk this down. So the other day, all right, this popped up on, I got this like Newsbreak app, which, be careful, there's a lot of clickbait, so you got to fact check a lot of things. But anyways, I looked this up. Power grid warning issued for 11 states. Now, things like this happen. Now, the reason why I brought that Isaiah out is because you could have a power outage just in your town or city by itself, while the rest of the world continues. Those are scenarios that play out as well. But my point is, the times that we are in, okay, Jake is going to find himself in a worse position going to Esau when trouble arises, okay? And it's been on my spirit lately to bring up a power outage. Now, we're not stating that there's going to be another 3 days of darkness like in ancient Egypt, because I remember years ago that was kind of a doctrine floating around. It says no day like it, okay? So, but can there be power outages? Absolutely, okay? Absolutely. See, it says, while a complete nationwide power loss is unlikely, of course, because you still have to have a standing government. You're still going to have a functional governmenting society in certain places, but other places could be worse off, which this is why this is a scenario pertaining to prophecy. Second Ezra 15. Let me grab that real quick. I'm going to go into the chat. But I just want to get this because it's just so important for us to make sure that we're reading these precepts within these lessons. Even when the Spirit gives us utterance, our utterance comes through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit within the scriptures. So check this out right here. 2 Ezra 15:17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. You don't think when that power outage happened, the darkness in Egypt, it was so dark they couldn't even find the front door, if you will, So my point is, just something simple as a power outage taking place now, even in these times, oh man, it'll be devastating. Like there was a flood that hit New York City, and the thought crossed my mind is, what if it flooded and then what if it froze? So just like Yahweh Shai said, pray that your flight be not in winter. Okay, I remember years ago, Texas got hit with a real bad power outage. So it's just a scenario that could play out that will lead to a very devastating end for Jake, Now, could Esau himself shut the power grid off for a reason? Absolutely. Could they go under a cyber attack and cause a power outage? Absolutely. Look, could America lose power from a cyber attack? Yes. Babylon could lose power from a cyber attack, which could cause widespread and potential long-lasting blackouts. See? Now, I remember a year or two ago, there was a couple of believers that were on the comment board, and they were dealing with a blackout, and that's a very trying time, but that's where you have to have faith, It says, and sometimes it can be easier said than done, but it's still got to be done. disrupting critical infrastructures like water, see, communications, and transportation. While a successful attack could be devastating, the electric industry and government are working to improve defenses. And they're going to do that through what? Through AI. Now that I got that out the way, what would society look like in a electronical blackout? Okay, I said, what would happen to the water supply in America and American homes and hospitals if the power went out? How would that affect Americans, and how would that affect the food supply chain? Hence why I titled it No Food, No Electricity, No Good, which having no electricity means no water, all right? So something as simple as access to a tap water, all right, will become a luxury, all right? And this is why we constantly pray. Our faith is constantly being tried, because I believe, all right, through faith, that even in this situation, we would still have lights, we would still have access to water, and we would still eat. That's what separates us from the rest of Jake, honestly, is our faith and our belief. Hence why I'm still holding Isaiah. Woe to you that go to Egypt for help. Let me see. Yep, right here. So it says, excellent question. Yeah, I bet it is. And it's one that emergency planners, DHS, and FEMA take very seriously. If Babylon lost electrical power nationwide, which they even gave a warning, okay, this one was 11 states, and they were just saying from a geomagnetic storm, okay, but what about from an attack from within? Oh, and then just recently, 70% of the internet went down, I believe. Let me see. Did 70% of the internet should go down? Let's see what it says. Let's see what it says. No, 70 of the entire internet not go down. Okay, so how much? Likely or common miss. Okay, blah blah blah. Is well known, possibly closer to 22%. Claim about 70 of global internet. Okay, so people are actually saying, hey, 70% of internet. Okay, well, let's just ask this. Did the internet go down this year? Let's just put that in. Let's see what it says. Yes, there have been significant internet outages in 2025, with a major global one occurring in October that affected numerous servers. So my point is, this place is showing you how easy the average everyday luxuries can be affected, which then trickles down to affect you. Okay, so let's go back. It says, if the United States lost electrical power nationwide, even for a few days, it would have immediate compounding effects on the water supply, hospitals, households, and food supply chain. And let's not forget about how people rely on a digital access to currency. So in a power outage, not only would you lack resources, if you don't have physical cash in that moment, you also will lack those resources as well, because now you can't purchase them. So it would be a complete chaos. It will go in complete chaos. All right. That's why I said no food, no electricity, no good. Jake would lose it. These people would lose it. Women would lose it. It says the electrical grid is the backbone of everything. America's water system, food distribution, transportation, and hospital all depend on electricity to pump, refrigerate, transport, and communicate. Look at that. A long-term power outage from cyber attack, grid failure, or EMP type event would ripple across every system within hours. So see, at a beck, okay? At a beck, this place can be hit. And they could do a double F 911 situation to cause it. Isaiah 30, so they don't take the blame. You know how Esau is. Isaiah 31:1, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, see, and stay on horses and trust in chariots and trust in FEMA and trust in DHS and trust in USDA and trusting in the executive branch of the federal government, because they are many. And that's like Jake right now, IUIC. I see all these men marching, just like the Jake and Malcolm X. All right. It says they are many and in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh Bashim Shai. See? So in these moments that are getting ready to take place in certain scenarios that potentially are going to happen, that's where we put our faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai, you know? And it may get real. It's going to get real. You could have someone around you. I'm just speaking as far as myself, how I feel in this present moment. If there's a non-believer that knows me and around me in a time when faith, I'm going to say, hey, man, you need to shut the fuck up and we're going to have faith in my God, okay? Shh, or be judged, because the Lord's not playing, okay? The Lord is not playing. So we need to be fortified, all right? We need to be fortified, man. So let's keep going. Just want to get a little bit more. I really want to push this this information for you brothers and sisters as just a real life scenario. That's all it is. And how easily Babylon can be affected. Do not think that this place can't be touched. Okay. Just something as simple as a cyber attack will put this bitch down. All right. And it says, and then what could Esau do? Esau could, he could use, the AI MOTB system, to bring it back on, get access. So, the scenarios are very beautiful when you look at it, So I'm definitely excited to see how the MOTB is going to be pushed. It could be pushed through pestilence. It could be pushed through the dollar collapsing, the Greater Depression. There's just so many scenarios that we could see Esau using this device as an all-in-one means to have a functioning, well-established society. Okay, so this is what we're watching for. We're watching for these kind of situations. So it says the water supply, the municipal system. Most city water systems use electric pumps. Boom. Okay, to move water from treatment plants to homes, hospitals, and hydrants. So if there's a fire, you're not even going to be able to put that fire out. Okay, and then you got to think about plumbing. Okay, bathrooms. You're not going to be able to flush toilets. This is why it says the vintage shall fail. This is why for women, the best thing to do is be humble, okay? Because it don't take much for you to look like how you really look, okay? So be humble, man, because Jacob's trouble is going to humble the haughtiness of the proud, man. People ain't going to be proud if they ain't got no water. They ain't got no food. They ain't got no shelter, all right? Water pressure drops within hours. High-rising buildings lose water. Contamination risks. See? Backflow. That's pestilence, man. That's pestilence. Boil water orders become impossible. Oh, and then if the electricity goes out, majority of people have electric stoves, and now they just got this metal square box taking up space in their kitchen. See that? That's why, hey, you're going to have faith. You're going to have faith. You're going to have to know how to pray, You're going to have to know how to start a fire. You're going to have to know how to pray to start a fire. Matter of fact, there was an incident where an angel made fire. Judges 6:21, then the angel of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand and touched the flesh. This is Gideon was offering a sacrifice. And the unleavened cakes, and there rose up fire out of the rock and consumed the flesh and the unleavened cakes. Then the angel of the Lord departed out of his sight. See? So that's the level of faith we have, that just because there's no electricity don't mean the lights won't turn on. We believe in that, and then people are going to be so stressed. They're going to get mad at the simplicity of a child trying to turn on the game or turn on his TV or flashlight. The woman going to lose it on him, man. These people are going to eat themselves. Okay. So F this society, all right? It says sewage treatment plants need constant power to operate. What else we got? Raw sewage. Look, public health hazards. See? This is pestilence, man. Something as simple as the power going out could just obliterate the average every day of America. Okay? Results. Within 24 hours, most Americans would have little or no safe drinking water. Oh, yeah, they'll be done. Let me see. What did I ask? I said, how many Americans would die if the power went out? 90% of U.S. population could die if a pulse event hits. See, look, 2/3. 2/3. We know the prophecy. Now, ultimately, the destruction will come through thermonuclear missiles after the mandatory marking of the beast. Just speaking on the aspect of power, the power going out from different scenarios is just an example to show you how much trouble will be within Jacob's trouble. Okay. And that's why all these people around you, these people, they're not ready, man. You know, you get vexed, you get annoyed, you become a misanthrope, which let me actually share that with you real quick before we go back to our lessons, just in case, because you got a lot of people that have a vain emotional opinions on judgment. And they're not set up like us. Okay, they can't judge matters. So we've become a misanthrope, a person who dislikes humankind and avoids human society. But there's also another one where basically, see right here, it says misanthropy is a general hatred, dislike, or distrust of human species, human behavior, or human nature. A misanthrope or a misanthropist is someone who holds such views or feelings. Misanthropy or misanthropy, probably pronounce it wrong, involves a negative attitude towards humanity that is based on humankind's flaws. So our judgment upon these people is based off their vain nature. Okay, so these people need to be judged, and the people that we get annoyed with and vexed with, well, that's going to be 90% that's going to be judged, you know? So we're surrounded by people that don't know they're about to get judged, man. That's why we say, be humble, bro. Be humble. You don't know the judgment waiting, okay? And I'm going to say it again. These women, all right, they're not going to be beautiful when the power goes off and the water stop running, all right? And you women know it too. You're just proud, okay? This is why Jacob's trouble will humble them. Look at this. Experts, I'm just going to read the title. 90% of the U.S. population could die if a pulse event hits the power grid. There you go. These people are going to be through in the days to come. They are going to be through in the days to come. And this is just one aspect. Electricity is one aspect. Food is one aspect. Matter of fact, that's why the Lord said, I got 4 different kinds of judgment I'm about to send on you. Jeremiah 15:3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, the sword to slay, the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. So this is just, you could get judged by water, or excuse me, I'll put it like this. You could be judged by no water. You could be judged by the flood that comes in that controls the water. You could be judged by having no power, no food. You see, I mean, the level of judgment that these people are getting ready to experience is going to be astronomical. All right, look at this. Hospitals and healthcare systems are going to be jacked up. Homes and communities, wait up. 2nd Ezra 15. Look at this. 2nd Ezra 15-18. Look how beautiful these precepts come together. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. See that? No food, no electricity, no good, no bueno. And that's what these people are getting ready to face, a no bueno situation. Look at this. Homes and communities. See, look, ATMs and credit systems go offline. Look at all this. Sanitation breaks down, trash accumulates. Families with electric stoves, heat, or water heaters lose all function. See, this is why Yahweh Shai said this, Matthew 24:20. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. So we pray that we wouldn't have to take flight in a winterous situation, but at the same time, we have faith that we'll be protected as well. That's the difference. Okay, that's the difference. So let me see. Oh, right here. Because when the judgment was going on in Exodus, which I'll say it again, we're not teaching a doctrine that there will be another 3 days of darkness. What we are saying is power grid failures, cyber attack, EMP situations are possible in the days of trouble that this place is approaching. Okay, a blackout situation is very possible. Why do you think they give warnings? You know, we gave 11 states warnings, and New York was one of them. People have experienced blackouts before. That's not nothing new. But in this kind of scenario, in a winter-like scenario, in a funneling people to force them to get the MOTB scenario, yeah, it's not gonna be good. So let's see. Look, when let me get the one in Exodus. Let me see here. Exodus 10. Real quick. Just want to get this because it's on my spirit to push that faithful message of hope and protection, though, at the end of the day, you know. So real quick, let's go to Exodus 10 and 23 just to get to the point. Exodus 10 and 23. It says, they saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days, going into the literal 3 days. That was a plague on literal Egypt. But we're not stating or teaching that there will be a literal 3 days over this Egypt. But what we're saying is there can be potential blackouts for in particular places in Babylon for prophetic reasons. Okay, judgment, war, that's a war tactic. And world war, you know, what was the movie Leave This World Behind? There was, I believe, blackouts, and then there was notes spread on the streets, and there was just a whole bunch of misdirection and who's attacking who. So this is also a war tactic scenario that can play out as well. But within that, verse 23, but all the children of Israel had light in their dwelling. See? So the point is, no matter what judgment's taking place, the servants are still going to eat. That's why I say the heathens are going to envy, you know? And you got to have that in your mind. We're not worried about, you got to worry, like they'd be like, no, you're going to war. I'm not going to war. That's on you. Just like there's times where, what was it? They were telling a go home black man. Let me get this quick point for you. I like fun facts. Go home, black man. This is not your war. This between them. Well, 2/3 too. This is not your war. I think Moab said this. Oh, see, U.S. Negro Army man, you are committing the same ignominious crimes in South Vietnam that the KKK clique is portraying against your family. See? So these nations know that their enemy is Esau, and so much that they see a Jake, they're like, "Yo, what you doing to me is what they did to you." You see? Go home, black man. Go home, soul brother. So my point is, hey, this judgment's for them. This judgment ain't for us. You know, this judgment is for them. This judgment is not for us. We're gonna be protected. All right. And so much. Let's get. I think that's second. I'm gonna end it on second Esdras. I think it's 2 and 26. Let me see here real quick. And then that's it. That's the lesson. Just been on my spirit to talk about a power outage, you know. This is second Esdras 2. And let's see. Right here, 27. It says, be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. My hands shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. Beautiful. So this is why when trouble takes place, blackouts, systems go down, even if it's statewide, citywide, we're going to have faith because we're going to be in a situation where all we got is the Lord. Okay. So these are the times to understand the power of faith that's been given to us, because we're going to see the results of what happens of lack of faith on Jake in the time of trouble, you know. So just wanted to do that lesson. And this is why it says we're going to laugh at their calamity. Okay. Jake can't handle no food. They can't handle no electricity. It's not going to be a good time for them. Okay. But that's the judgment of the Lord. So just wanted to do that quick lesson. I pray that it was edifying, and I just want to say, call halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakudash. I'd also like to say double honors to my elders, bishops, and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. Peace, safety, and salutations to the Lord's elect. With that being said, Shalom.